The Dallas Cowboys have 8 picks in this year's draft right now, 2 in the first round, number 12 and number 20. That second one, of course, coming from Micah Parsons' trade to Green Bay. Talking to me now, joining me rather, is Locked On Cowboys podcast host Landon McCool. Good midday to you, Landon. Thank you for being here.
Happy Draftmas.
There we go. There's a lot to discuss, so we're just going to dive right into it. Jerry Jones shared his draft outlook during a press conference yesterday. Is there a chance we could really see some wheeling and dealing here?
Yeah, I certainly think it's possible. I mean, I think that has to do with the fact that the Cowboys have a lot of ammunition, as you pointed out. I also think it has a little bit to do with the fact that there isn't a lot of elite quarterbacks or offensive tackles or edge rushers at the top. There are a couple of blue chip players in this class, but not the normal amount that we would expect that would draw interest up at the top. So I do think it's going to cost less to trade up, which may make it more enticing for the Cowboys. But I also think that because there's a kind of plateau of talent, there's also options for them to trade back and pick up some more picks. So this is really one of the more wide open drafts for the Cowboys that I can remember.
What would you say, what do the Cowboys really just need right now?
Well, how long do we got? Certainly mostly on the defense. I mean, honestly, any position on the defense. I think linebacker is the position that comes to mind just because they simply need another starter there. When they, I think you could squint your eyes and make out starters at edge and corner if you needed to. But I also think that edge and corner are the more likely picks to get taken in the first round just because of positional value. So I think the Cowboys desperately need to kind of come away from this draft with players that can be viable for them at linebacker, corner, edge, and then maybe tight end later down the road just because they have some needs there eventually as you have some expiring contracts.
And speaking of that, a name that keeps coming up in mock drafts for the Cowboys is Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles. What do you think? Is that someone that they've got their eye on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The question really becomes, can he make it to them at 12, or would they trade up for a off-ball linebacker? Because he is one of these guys that is generally viewed as being one of the blue-chip players in this class. Now, obviously, a big part of that Ohio State defense. There's obviously several of these guys at the top from that really vaunted Ohio State defense, but he's the guy that wore the green dot. It would be a really natural fit for what the Cowboys want to do with Christian Parker's defense, so it would make a lot of sense if they could find a way to come out of this draft with Sonny Styles.
I know you said this whole thing is wide open, but are there any other names that you think that we could see?
I think that the top names that are the kind of blue chip guys that they would love to get are obviously Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, as you mentioned, David Bailey, Caleb Downs. Those are the 4 guys that really, if they could find a way to come away with any one of those, it would be a home run at 12. Otherwise, if they kind of, get wiped out there, Mansour Delane, who's a cornerback from LSU, Dylan Thieneman, who's a safety from Oregon. There's been talk about them potentially taking a wide receiver like Jordan Tyson if they get completely wiped out on defense. Those are some names to keep in mind. And then at 20, Keldrick Falk is an edge at Auburn. Colton Hood is another cornerback from Tennessee. Malachi Lawrence. There's lots of options at 20. 12 is where the Cowboys are going to be really kind of holding their breath to see what happens above them.
All right, we've got 1 minute left with you, so I've got to ask this question. I mean, when we talk about the legends that the Cowboys have on hand to announce their picks, we've got an actual Pittsburgh guy in Tony Dorsett, and of course, someone who could create quite the stir at another draft in Pennsylvania, Drew Pearson. What can we expect from them?
Listen, I think they're all kind of following Drew's lead, right, and trying to rile up the crowd. So I'm certain that, being home at Pittsburgh and in front of a semi-favorable crowd, as much as you're going to get for a Cowboy in Pittsburgh land, I think he's going to rile everybody up and get excited for the pick for sure.
Exciting. Thank you for joining. What did you call it? Did you call it draft miss? Is that what you said?
Draft miss. Yes, we're on draft miss. Everyone open your presents.
Very draft miss to you. I hope it goes well. I hope Cowboys fans are excited and happy and that this is exactly what they need for it to be their year. Love it.
Me too. Let's go Cowboys.
Y'all, so much more we just couldn't get into here, but they'll be breaking it down on the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show that is coming up today at noon on our streaming app WFAA+. And if you miss it, maybe you're at work, maybe you're having lunch, that's okay. It re-airs daily at 9 p.m., so you can catch it then. And do not miss all the action from the NFL Draft. Round 1 is live right here on WFAA tonight, starting at 7 o'clock.